The Center, with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, Black family, and welcome to On the Wake Up Radio. Excuse me. I am your host, DC Radical One. Greetings to friends, allies, and of course, enemies. You can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio at On the Wake Up Radio. My apologies for running a little late, and I don't know how I sound. I have some type of weird scratchiness to my throat that literally just started 10 minutes before the show started. I also had a small tech issue, and I'll see how that goes. I may have to make some adjustments along the way. So I'll greet everybody in a moment. I'll get myself together. Appreciate everybody coming on. I have a serious hold on, wrong music. All right, that's more like it. Got a serious topic to talk about today. One that, of course, infuriates me very much. Makes me want to, can't say that, but you get it. Brings out my inner panther, let's put it that way. First of all, let me greet everybody. BB4 Straight Black Pride to Sister Vanessa. BB40 to brother you got ripped off. BB40 to Ashur Goon. BB40 Straight Black Pride to brother Elijah. BB40 to Kevin. BB40 to Protect Black Children. BB40 to Untamed Audio. And BB40 brother Tony. Peace and Black Power to Patrick. Greetings to Lee Clinton. All right, cool. It looks like that's everybody that's checked in. So tonight, man, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard about it already. The Sonya Massey situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Terrell Miller, Roger Fortson, and where the Democrat and Republican parties stand on this issue as far as what they said and legislation that they have passed. Let me check something real quick. And I had a lot of videos loaded up, and then I had like a little like weird power surge. So I'm not sure what will play and what will not. Let's see. BB40 to Sister Najee, and greetings to Sister Sandra. I was trying to, for a moment, I thought those sisters was going to be on Sister Vanessa, holding it down, smacking trolls and whatnot. Just want to remind everybody, this Saturday, which is, I think, the 3rd, BB40 to Sister Simone. You know, I should have brought this up, but Brother Genie will be having his book release party at Terra Cafe, 101 East 25th Street, Baltimore, Maryland. And so this is the second in his book series. just chopping it up with the genie. This is at 3 p.m. and this is free of charge. So Terrell Cafe is a wonderful Black-owned establishment. Also, we will be having our 10th annual SBPM convention there on the 17th, so 2 weeks from this Saturday. So we'll be there this Saturday, and then 2 weeks after that, we'll be there again. That will be at 2 p.m. and that will feature Brother Genie, Brother Darren Muhammad, and myself as the main speakers, and that is on Garvey Day, August 17th. And that's Whirlwind, African World Revolution and Progress. That is free of charge. And also, I think I have found a way to be able to make that stream available for free on my end and thus your end. So I'll let you all know. I will let you all know a few days before that, and we'll send out an email with the link. So it'll go out to those. If you are on the War on the Horizon or the Straight Black Pride email list, you should get it. If you do not get it by that Thursday, 2 days before, shoot me an email at dc.direct_1@protonmail.com, and I will send you the link to do that. So it looks like that's going to be for free. I'll just be able to upgrade the service for a temporary basis, from my understanding. So I appreciate you all for that. Beautiful day to Bola Kaja, and greetings to Asafo. So tonight we are going to talk about something that I'm sure irritates most of us here. The wanton and continued attack and executions of Black people in America by people wearing law enforcement uniforms, terrorists wearing law enforcement uniforms. And also, we're going to talk about, in fact, let's just do this now. To me, other people have noticed this as well, so it's not just me. At this point, it's not coincidental that this stuff is covered more extensively every 4 years, right? Now, we have to look at who controls the media. We all, y'all just put your emoji in there for who controls the media. I don't have to say anything. And look at why they would want to have this happen during election time every time, right? It's not that they care about our well-being. Let's just dismiss that out of hand. But what it does is it stirs up racial animus between Black and white. Europeans have an incapability of seeing themselves as the villain, even when wrong. It's just a psychological defect that they have. Their entire identity is based very much on being the good guy. A large part of that is due to Hollywood, which again, put your emojis for who controls that, and an educational system that was developed to give them a national identity, right? The weirdest thing in the world is hearing hats basically take credit for creating the modern American dream, right? Through Hollywood and through media. Like, this is not me, this is hats. I got the documentation. I can put it up whenever I feel like it, right? Nonetheless, that is detrimental to us, because that same media has been used to vilify and demonize us, right? Now, there's enough animosity based on the opposing natures of the people involved, right? Let's just be honest. If we're really honest here, right, and we're not just talking outside of our neck, the nature of the African and the nature of the European are different. Elijah Muhammad said that the origin of a nature, the origin of a thing determines its meaning, right? Just like you can have two different breeds of dogs, and they have different temperaments. And there are other sets of animals like that they classify as the same species or whatever, but within that species there are different temperaments, right? Black people generally have a different temperament and disposition than white people. Our cultures are different. Our origins are different, right? If we really respected each other, we could just admit that and then move forward. Inability to do that causes confusion in and of itself, right? And the incapacity of groups to admit their natural predatory nature causes gaslighting and confusion, right? That's why I don't really deal with people who want to be blue-voted to raw eyes or white eyes. I don't want to be interacting with people of any other group that can't put that on the table and we deal with the reality of it. If we can't talk straight talk, I don't even want you around. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not going to start with Obama signing this blue law alert. That's just up. We're going to get into this Sonya Massey case, which we're going to talk about. This is from something called the 19th. There's police killing of Sonya Massey, a striking example of another senseless loss in the black community. I believe this is her son. I'm not sure of the young brother's name. My heart goes out to him and the family. Malachi, 17 years old. Malachi Hill Massey, speaking at NAACP headquarters. All right, let me summarize. We see his attorney, Crump. Let me stop right here before I get started. I'm just going to be completely honest. If you call Ben Crump, he'll get you a check. But he has no power to get you justice. This goes out to anyone. I'm just letting you know now. Now, someone's going to ask, do you have the power to get that person justice? I do not. But I have some ideas on how we can organize to get justice, and in a way that will lessen the frequency of these events, right? But some people are going to have to be willing to sacrifice. Some people are going to have to be willing to sacrifice money. Some people are going to have to be willing to sacrifice time. Some people might have to be willing to sacrifice other things. You understand what I'm saying? But until we are able to do that and have people willing to make that sacrifice, and people willing to, and let's have the capacity to build a support structure for that, this will continue to take place. I'm just being completely honest. In this situation with Miss Massey, it appeared that she was home alone by herself. I'm just be honest, talking to sisters. If you're in America in this day and time, not having a man or not living near men that you can trust, that's not a good idea. I'm not telling you pick up any stray off the street. I'm just saying, not having a man willing to defend you and himself in this current environment, it's not optimal, right? Am I saying that would have changed what happened in this case? Possibly, because apparently she thought there was someone sneaking around property. That would have been his job. It also would have been his job to interact with the police. The older members of my family, they don't interact with Europeans. They don't interact with European males. If they do, if they have to, like someone has to, for example, fix, I don't know, the furnace or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's always men there, regardless of, and whatever you have to do as the man, if you got to take off work or whatever to be there, it is what it is. That's how I grew up. That's all I know. Right? So this stuff that's going, whatever's happening now, and women thinking that and people thinking that police can be trusted, and I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. Europeans don't even, generally speaking, for the most part, it was rare growing up seeing Europeans enter the house. We can talk outside. Like, generally speaking, you went to the closet before you go. Now, if you caught it straight, then you call them, come carry them up out your yard. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right? So what I'm saying is, whatever we can do to lessen our interaction with Europeans at all. Like if there's no money involved, interacting with Europeans is not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, money, help, like very extreme things. Other than that, that's all I can recommend. As we saw in the case of Miss Massey, Jesus ain't gonna help. In fact, when she started talking about Jesus, that's when the police started getting itchy trigger fingers. Make of that what you will, right? So I just had to say that. Get into this article. I ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be a rough one for me because it was so unnecessary, and I had not watched it, and then I watched it, and I had to edit out the video. And speaking of which, I don't even know if this video will load up. So let me see. Yeah, I'm not even sure if this video will load up. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read this article and I'm gonna check to see if this video will load up. If it won't load up, I'll go to the next article. But let's get into this article. I almost don't even want to read the article because what? But anyway, Sonya Massey should be alive today. That is the message ricocheting across the internet as the killing of Massey, a 36-year-old black woman and mother, by a white sheriff's deputy in Illinois gains national attention from President Joe Biden, advocates, and celebrities following the release of police body footage on Monday. Massey was shot on July 6th while handling a pot of water, which that's not actually accurate, but anyway. In her kitchen by a sheriff's deputy standing several feet away from her in the living room. Her killing happened a week before the 9-year anniversary of Sandra Bland's murder, which elevated the Say Her Name movement, pushed to raise awareness about Black women who are victims of police brutality. Sonya Massey, a beloved mother, friend, daughter, and young black woman, should be alive today, Biden said in a press statement on Monday. Sonya's family deserves justice. I am heartbroken for her children and entire families. They face something and senseless loss. That is President Joe Biden. I literally almost called him former President Joe Biden. Let me just say this. I mean, he has to do the press thing. Okay, we appreciate that. This is the same Joe Biden whose son, Beau Biden, was Attorney General when black people were being lynched in Delaware about 9 years ago now. I don't know how many people remember that. Brother Cheney and his team went to investigate in Delaware, talked to a brother who survived an attack, and met with brother Issa, Professor Issa, at the time, who was working there at the time. So the idea that the Bidens care about black people, and I didn't care what. So anyway, let me get back to this. It says Massey called 911 in the early morning hours of July 6th because she was concerned about a potential intruder outside her house. The police body camera shows Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson and another deputy knocking on her door. How come we don't know the other deputy's name? Because he drew his weapon as well. And yelling at her to come to the door. Are you coming to the door or not? Now, first of all, hold up. I just thought about this. Okay, so this is how it works. I'm not saying you, but person calls the police for person calls the police, right? Call the police. When you call them, they take down the information and they dispatch it and they tell them what is going on, including if it's an actual crime, the number, the code that's in progress. Right? Like California Penal Code, I think it's 211, like a robbery. We have 211 in progress, something like that. Right? And then they're aware of what they are facing. So the whole thing about it is that if they call you and dispatch says we have a possible intruder or prowler, the reality of the situation is when you come to the person's house, you seek to make contact with the resident. If it's two of y'all, if you're seeking to make contact with the resident, then one of you then should be securing the perimeter, right? Or you make contact with the person, they verify the information you were given, and then you tell them, okay, you wait here, or secure yourself here. We shall proceed to secure the perimeter and see if we see anything, right? In which case, if you do not see anything, you say, ma'am, we did not see anyone. It appears that the perimeter is secure. We didn't see any signs of attempted entry, so forth and so on, right? At that point, the person either says, okay, well, thank you, officer. If I have any more issues, I will call again. And it's over, right? Again, number one, the police should not be entering your home unless there's a crime in your home. If not, the police should not be entering your home. The only way you should be allowing the police in your home is if you got cameras in your home, according to police. I'm just saying, look, I've known people in law enforcement at various levels from special police, SPO, the MPD, the PG County, to Secret Service, Capitol Hill. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I've known these people. Steve C, you meet them at a bar, they get drunk, they start telling you everything, they tell you the whole life story. You ask them questions, they tell you. Ask them about the procedures, how things should work, so on, so. I'm just telling you, right? Not saying I'm an expert, not saying I'm a policeman. I'm just telling you from the perspective of a black person who has met, known, and had to, unfortunately, interact with police, and sometimes just fortunately interact with the police. You want to limit your interaction with them as much as possible, because especially nowadays, number one, there's a lot of terrorists masquerading as police. Number two, a lot of people, a lot of dudes, men nowadays, are just cowards. And just because they're wearing a uniform and got a badge don't mean that they're not cowards. A lot of these dudes are scary as I don't know what. Right? Can you meet some people that's relatively cool? Yeah. But to be completely honest, the average civilian is not really, I'm going to be completely honest. The most of the time that you meet or interact with police, and it can be a civil, you can have civil discourse, you generally have to have something in common with them. Like say you're former military or current military, or you're a hunter or something like, something like that, something that you're thinking like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or you have family that's law enforcement. Other than that, yeah. So anyway, hold on. I did see a sister post a comment. Sister Vanessa said, I haven't seen anyone talk about how she didn't want to get off the phone with 911 because she was scared, and she told them she didn't feel safe. I didn't see that. And it's nowadays there's another video going around of her throwing the pot. So the narrative is that someone is lying. I haven't seen that either. The video I saw, she never even got an opportunity to do that. So I'm going to assume that the Euros are lying, because that's been the case for 4,000 years or so. Don't change overnight. So, let me see. Let me get back to it. The deputies. Hold on. Let's see. Are you coming to the door or not? When the deputy screamed at her. Well, I mean, his demeanor. At that point, I'm just being completely honest. At that point, I'll come to the door. I'm not opening the door. I'm going, you know what? Thank you for coming out. Could you please check the perimeter for me and see if you see anything? And I'll wait here. That's it. And then if he's like, well, I'm not going to do it. I got to come in. I'm like, all right, thank you, sir. That's it. I'm done. Then he's talking about hurry up. After Massey attempts to explain her concerns, the deputies tell her that they have not seen anyone and question Massey about a vehicle in her driveway. Let's stop right here. This is it right here. This is where it goes off the rails. You haven't seen anyone. Your business here is thus concluded. Period. End of story. We have nothing else to discuss. You haven't seen anyone. Fine. You haven't seen anyone. Thank you, officer, for coming out and checking. I feel safer now that you haven't seen anyone. Thank you and good night. That's it. Do not interact with these people anyway, just as least as possible. Dr. Collins used to say, name, rank, and serial number, right? because they're looking to cause confusion. Let's see. Super chat from my brother, you got ripped off, says there's no better altercation to show the cowardice of white law enforcement than that of a cop. Oh, then the one where the cop shoots the brother because he heard an acorn falling on a car. Yeah, brother, I wish you had told me that. I would have found that and loaded that up. You're right. That shows just how cowardly and, man, I don't even know another word. It's got to be some word stronger than cowardly. These people, they're so scared, literally about to use the bathroom on themselves. And one little sound, and they shooting up the whole neighborhood like, like John Rambo or something. Now, let's just get back to this. It says the deputies asked Massey to check on a pot of boiling water from the stove. They appear to move away, and she asks, "Where are you going?" Her tone is calm, and one of the deputies laughs when he says, "Away from your hot steaming water." So I'm gonna be completely honest. No, I'm not checking on the water. Nope. No, I'm not. No, thank you. The water is fine. It'll be there. Or, I mean, since you've already let them in the house, you say, "Well, sir, I don't feel comfortable going over there. Would you like to turn off the stove?" That's it. I'm not anything that looks threatening. Because first of all, again, they're not coming in my domicile. Any interaction that could take place, it can take place outside. Take place outside where your neighbors can hear, where people going down the street might happen to look, where you have your ring camera or someone else's ring camera is facing in your direction. Whatever the case may be, it's just like when I was young, you were taught if the police pull you over, number one, never drive faster than the police, because the police are going to always claim that they are driving the speed limit. Thus, if you pass them, you are accelerating past the speed limit, which gives them the excuse to pull you over, right? So, any young people listening, remember that. I was taught that a long time ago, and believe me, they will, if you are black and you proceed past them, they will pull you over. Trust me, right? 2, never pull over in some type of secluded area. Just don't do it. Make the assumption that maybe they're not even really the police. I mean, we had a rash of that in this area a few years ago with people masquerading as the police. Make the assumption they're not the police. Go to a well-lit and populated area. If it's late at night, go to what's the place that sells pancakes all night? Go to that place. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Be down south, go to the Waffle House or whatever. Bowling alley, the club, whatever. Right? Some place where people will be. I mean, that's not a guarantee, but it's better than being isolated. You never want to be in an isolated situation with law enforcement, just in case you're dealing with terrorists masquerading as law enforcement. Sister Vanessa said, "That's so true. It happened to me when I was young. I passed him and he immediately jumped behind me and pulled me over." Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what I think. I'm telling you what I know, and that I was taught that years ago. So, and seen it and be like, "Oh yeah, okay." They were right. It's one of those things. When you see it in that, you're like, And in fact, I told somebody that, and they didn't listen. You tell somebody and it's like they do the opposite. And then next thing I know, they pulled over. And I'm like, "Well, listen next time, ain't you?" Now, let's get back to this article. Let's see. when Massey says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," tensions escalate. Again, I'm just be completely honest. This is not to be disrespectful to anybody's religion. The name of Jesus has no power because the name is not rooted in the original language of the text that people call the Bible. There are no J's in that language. The letter J is not implemented into the 15th century. So there's no power in that name, just based upon that. I don't know what else to tell you. The fact that these enemies proceeded to execute her after that, I would think more than proves my point. Now, Grayson has been fired and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He has pled not guilty. Massey's killing is a striking example of how police encounters for Black people, even those who call the police for help, quickly erupt into Black people being murdered. And they talk about violence. Like, no, to say it quickly erupts into violence makes it seem like it's some type of interaction, right? Like Black people and the police are drawing guns on each other. I know it erupts into Black people being murdered for no reason. Now, he says, "You better effing not. I swear to God, I'll effing shoot you right in your effing face." One of the deputies yells. Both deputies then draw their weapons and demand that Massey drop the body. She says, "Okay, I'm sorry," and ducks out of the way. He then walks to her, because they left this part out. He walks towards her to make sure he gets a good shot and then kills her. Right? Now, I don't have the I saw the video and I'm just be honest. If this person is still breathing 3 years from now, there's no. All I'm saying is, if he's convicted, we need that work put in. That we need that Jeffrey Dahmer work put in. And if somebody put in that work, we need to put something on account. We can't ask people to do work for free, right? Work got to be paid for. That's all I'm saying. And the reason we're not, if people are tired, if they're really tired, you're going to have to organize against this. And you're going to have to put money down to support that organization, because we need a team of investigators. So he shot down. Yeah, he shot down. Shot down at her. We need a team of investigators to investigate, like the Panthers did the Denzel Dow case back in 1967. We need to pay a team of investigators to investigate. We need our own professional person to do autopsies for us. We need our own people to do investigation on law enforcement. We need our own people to make the proper call and take care of situations when they need to be taken care of. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if we're not willing to do that, it's no need for us to really be talking about this. But I can't say what I want to say, right? talking to even lunatic. Like, I've tried not to even pay this any attention because when I see Trump, it just makes me want to throw up. When I see the NAACP and these other bootlicking Negro organizations, I know nothing's going to happen. Things only happen, being completely honest, when they think that when they really think we're fed up, like when Michael Xavier Johnson appears, the spirit of Nat Turner takes over somebody and they just say, yeah, that's not happening anymore. This. See, when Michael Xavier Johnson said there's not going to be any more one-way traffic, things calm down a little bit. Cosmo September said, you know, I too am trained to root out terrorists. I think I need to root out some terrorists. Right? So I'm just, I'm just saying that the next generation, you all are gonna have to learn the lesson that each generation learned. I mean, when LA happened, they didn't kill Rodney King, so people just decided to just destroy a quarter of the city. You know what I'm saying? So Rodney King survived, so they're like, all right, we'll just destroy a quarter of the city, and any non-black people who come through here, it's rolling the dice. Don't know what happened. And then, all of a sudden people want to have a discussion about race relations. Peace. Right? Yeah, Brother Mark Hester. Every now and then someone has to say, hey, it's no more one-way traffic. You be doing Bobby Still like, hey, no one else is gonna do it. We're gonna police the police. I'm gonna say brother Ishmael Brinsley. Yeah. He, in essence, he's the author. He's the author of the Blue Alert law that Obama signed. So I'm just saying that, police terrorism, terrorists masquerading as police is apparently still a problem. Or else we wouldn't be having this discussion, because this is not police procedure. This is not how police are supposed to act to go about their day or doing their job. So we have to be able to person terrorists masquerading as police. There are people saying he had white supremacist symbols on his skin, inked into his skin. If he does or he doesn't, his behavior was that of, as some people say, a race. So it didn't matter. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to play this clip. If it does not play, then I am going to simply take it down and load it back up. So we're gonna see together, because I was having some technical issues earlier. And why you ain't tell me I had the music too high? The music wasn't too high? Nobody said nothing. So let's see.
Past behavior. Alex Perez is in Chicago with the latest. Good morning to you, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Yeah, we're learning a lot more about former Deputy Sean Grayson's past. He jumped from one law enforcement agency to another. Warning, some of those images... Okay.
I couldn't see the video. Could y'all see the video? No? Okay. All right, give me a second. I'm going to try to reload the video. And so give me a second with that. Yeah, well, I had the music up louder than normal. Okay. It's just fun. She got that supersonic hearing, so she like, Finally, I don't know why you ain't saying nothing, sister, because it's actually higher than I normally have it. So y'all give me a second. I'm gonna try to load that back. Wait a minute, hold on. That's not what I'm trying to do. My humble apologies. So I mean I gotta load all these. But this Sonya Massey case, this is actually only one of the cases that we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about the political ramifications as well. All right. So that's disappointing, but we shall, what they say, sally forth, I guess. Have I finished reading this article? Let me read this article. I say, Massey's killing strike. Okay, I read that. One database maintained by the Washington Post that focuses on shootings specifically identified that 8 of the 1,161 fatally shot victims fatally shot by police were Black women. I wonder what the number of Black men was, because that's a low number for women, but it doesn't say what it was for men. Anyway, women, and particularly women of color, are also at risk of sexual violence through police encounters, leading up to the 2015 violation conviction of former Oklahoma City police officer Daniel Holtzclaw. Police investigators determined that he specifically targeted low-income Black women who had a criminal record or history of quote-unquote sex work or drug use. The trustworthiness of these women was questioned by Holtzclaw's attorney in court. Well, of course. Same year of Holtzclaw's conviction, law professor Kimberly Crenshaw and the African American Policy Forum launched the Say Her Name movement, which gained increased national visibility in the wake of Sandra Bland's murder by police, as well as women like Alexia Christian, Natasha McKinnon, and Maya Hall. It was another young sister in Chicago, I believe. And I can't remember her name, and if anybody remembers her name, help me out. Who was wantonly murdered by an off-duty police officer because people had their music too loud or something, and I ain't gonna lie, that one, for some reason that was burned in my memory, because I don't know. That was back in, I want to say 2013 or so. Rakia Boyd, thank you. So I'm just be honest, man. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm like, y'all remember when Malcolm X talking? They asked him something, a plane had crashed or something, and he said something like, "Allah works in mysterious ways." I'm gonna be honest. I need a meteor to just crash right into, right after the Olympics, a meteor to just crash right into France, just sink so-called Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's kind of where I'm at. It's just that I wake up and that happens, I'll be like, whoa, that's crazy. Well, on with my day. Oh yeah, Sister Corinne Gaines. That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah, that sister, that one haunted me too, because I know a sister that looked a lot like her. So that one really. And then her quote unquote man, he snuck out the back, and man, yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt. That hurt. So I know somebody gonna say, well, brother, you said you have a man, but you just said that he snuck out the back. Well, wasn't much of a man. Right? What you want me to say? All right. Let me get back to this. It says Black women's stories of police violence and public silence, which analyze the stories of Black women killed by the police and their family members who advocated for them. In the excerpts from the mothers of Say Her Name in the book, we are angered by the contemptuous ways in which our loved ones' lives were stolen. We are shocked by the callous ways that a mother or sister was informed or not informed about the brutal police killings of their loved ones. We are heartbroken to hear about the lifelong scars of young children who witnessed the deaths of their mothers at the hands of the police. Man, come on now. Crenshaw said in remarks about the book last year, Bland died in a Texas jail cell in 2015. Her murder, the guy keeps saying it wasn't a death. Not like she sneezed and fell down the steps or something. It's murder. Sandra Bland, Sandra Bland is my reaction to that is what got me kicked off of Twitter back in the day. Because I said, I'm just quoting myself. At the time, I said, I don't want no justice. I want revenge. I think I did a show called What is Justice years ago. If you are older and you murder a younger person and you go to jail, but you're still breathing, doesn't matter. I'm just asking these questions like, what do y'all think? Because for me, if a person is in a position of power and authority, should they not be held to a higher standard than the average random person? Right? Like, think about it, right? You're the police, law enforcement, a judge, attorney general, etc. Even politician, congressman, senator. Why aren't you held to a higher standard than the janitor? There's nothing wrong with being a janitor, but I'm saying in this society, the senator is given more prestige than the janitor. The senator is given more prestige than the teacher. The senator is given more prestige than a lot of people, except for, like celebrities, right? Why are these people not held at a higher standard? You have life and death in your hands. You're a police officer. Like somebody said a long time ago, no one yells out F the fire department. The song called F the police, right? If the fire department always acted like the police, because the fire department got their own shady things with them, but if they did, they would show up with a gas can. You know what I'm saying? They would just show up with a gas can, flinging gas all over the place, and then looking at it like, all right, the fire is bigger. All right, let's try to put it out now. You're like, yeah, but the people died while you was throwing gas around. I'm like, they be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like that's how many times in our community the police act. They come and exacerbate the situation, no matter what it is. Something is if black people call the police, something has already gone completely wrong, right? Let's just be honest. If we've called the police, things, generally speaking, are either completely out of hand or someone is scared out of their mind or they're having some type of mental breakdown. Those are only 3 times that we call the police, right? So for you to come and make a terrible situation even worse is hard to do unless you're trying to do it intentionally. It's hard to accidentally mess up a mess up. And yet it continuously happens. And I'm going to be completely honest. Sometimes the worst thing that you can have is have the black cop whose partner is white, because he's trying to show him that he can out-cop him, and then here you are thinking he gonna give you some type of sympathy or something. You in for a long or possibly a short night, right? So I don't know if I'm gonna get any of these videos loaded up or not. It is what it is. Anyway, before I continue, don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1, on Twitter at dcradical_one, on OTW2 at dcradical1. You can donate via Cashapp at $DCRadical1, and you can email me at dc.radical_one at protonmail.com. Now, I guess I'll finish this article. It says, talked about Sandra Bland. Number of programs across the country seek to decrease the amount of contact that law enforcement officials have with the public by establishing unarmed community responder teams. The sheriff's deputy who shot Massey has been charged with murder. Her family now waiting what comes next. During a press conference following her assassination, Massey's father called for reforms of policing, including George Floyd Justice and Police Act that aims to fight police misconduct and use of force, but has not been passed by Congress. The only time I'm going to see my baby again is when I leave this world, and I don't want anybody else in the United States to join this league, Massey's father said. Every member of Congress needs to vote today so that nobody else in the United States has to go through what we're going through. I'm just being completely honest. My heart goes out to the man. I saw him earlier. He's completely devastated, to no surprise. This was completely wanton and useless destruction of life. Man, I got nothing. I'm just this. Anyway, we're gonna read a little bit about this assassin deputy who murdered Sonya Massey. Was removed from the army, had DUIs, and needed high-stress decision classes. Record show. I had one of the videos I had set up, and what I'll probably do, since I don't have, I don't want to mess with the video because I don't want to shut down the stream or something. I don't know. I don't think. I'm trying to see if the weather's clear. But anyway, this person should not have been in law enforcement. This fool almost killed himself disobeying a direct order at his previous law enforcement job. He was engaged in a high-speed pursuit, and I believe he ran into a deer. And unfortunately for us, he did not cause enough bodily harm to himself to remove him from having the capacity to join a different department. Like, if he had hit that deer and went off the road and flipped over 15 times and car burst into flames, the sister would be alive today. I'm just saying. So that is, reading that, it just was even crazier. And like I said, what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up doing a separate video just on her story and then also on the other two stories, because we have 3 cases, and I know I'm going slowly, but I'm working my way through this. We have a case of a black woman, which we have covered, a young Army veteran, black man, and a 4-year-old child. Peace to Black Pearl Inc. That's that. So, and I didn't actually mean to do it like that, but what it shows is we don't have to get into discussions of black women being executed by police, or black men, or black children, because tonight we're going to cover all 3. And the fact that I can, and these cases all happened in the last 3 months, shows us that there's no need for us to try to divide ourselves and have some type of, as Europeans would say, oppression Olympics, because we're being murdered, whether it's man, woman, or child. It doesn't matter. People are being executed by police regardless. And the only thing they have in common is that they're black. So like Malcolm X said, they don't kill you because you Baptist or Methodist. They don't kill you because you're a Muslim or Christian or even African nationalist, or they would like to kill you if you're African nationalist, but that's not why they kill you. They kill you because you're black. They brutalize you because you're black. They mock and scorn you because you're black, and spit on you because you're black. No other people on earth are treated this way on sight. Period. End of discussion. And no people on earth can point to any historical record of us just coming and rampaging through their country, colonizing anything, murdering and torturing people. No one can bring any historical documentation. No one has any logical reason to just completely despise black people. We haven't done anything to anyone, and yet we are the most despised. We are the most mocked. We are the most murdered. We are the most tortured. We are the most brutalized. Like insane, psychotic hatred of black people for no reason. For centuries. In fact, millennia. But I digress. Let me get back to this. Says that Massey's murder stirred memories of other black women who had been assassinated by police in their homes in recent years, including Breonna Taylor. That's another one. She was with her, man. He was defending her from intruders. He doesn't know the intruders were the police. The only thing I can say to that is he needed a bigger gun. I believe he had a 9. He needed an AK. At the rate we're going, we're going to have to start buying military equipment. Armed drones. Anyway. Her family's attorney emphasized the angle at which deputy shot Massey. Massey's autopsy report, which was publicly released Friday, said she was killed by a gunshot wound to the head. Yeah, he shot down at her. Massey was shot beneath her eye and the bullet exited the back of her neck under her ear. What tells us that he shot her in a downward trajectory. Right, because she was ducking down. And he shot her. First of all, he was a big dude. She was I guess, average size woman, right? Based upon the video. Yeah, right. Yeah, brother Tony, right. 12 gauge for, I recommend 12 gauge for home defense as well. And then she was ducking down, trying to not get shot in a defensive position, and he shot her anyway. So, I mean, having a trial and all that, okay. I mean, I'll pay attention. But all I'm saying is, man, the internet is available to find out everything you need to know about this man. So that's not, y'all do it. Everybody do with that what they will. Let's see. When asked for comment, Grayson's attorney Daniel Folks told CNN, "I don't wish to comment." I guess you don't. I mean, what is there to say? The fact that you're pleading not guilty, you should have did. When you took the case, you should be like, "Look, we're gonna plead guilty, try to get as low a thing as we can." Look, if this is the national news, you're done. You're like, you know what I'm saying? If I was his attorney, he tried to hire me, so I guess I wouldn't have never been his attorney. I just would have told him that straight up. Like, if this is national news, you're done. I saw the tape. I don't even know what you were doing. You actually probably want to go to jail, because if you're on the street, I don't know. That's what I would have told him. Right? Anyway, the Army discharged him after serious offense. Grayson previously served in the U.S. Army and was discharged due to misconduct. A serious offense, according to Department of Defense documents, including Grayson's personnel file during his time at the Kincaid Police Department in Illinois. Personnel file was obtained by CNN affiliate KSHB. The document says Grayson was separated from the Army under a general discharge after he served as a private first class at Fort Riley in Kansas. The file did not detail the alleged misconduct. I would like to know what that was. CNN asked the Army for more details. In response, Army spokesperson Bryce Dupuy? That's interesting. I was reading it as Dupree, but that's not what it says. Sean P. Grayson was a 91B wheeled vehicle mechanic in the regular Army from May 2014 to February 2016. He had no deployments and left the Army in the rank of private first class. Grayson was on the Kincaid police force for only 3 months before he was let go because he refused to live within a 10-mile radius. He actually did them a favor. Grayson pleaded guilty to 2 DUIs before working at law enforcement. 2 DUIs. Wow. Court records show Grayson was charged for 2 DUI misdemeanor offenses in Illinois, Macoupin County, one in 2015, one in 2016. First incident occurred in August 2015. Grayson's vehicle was impounded after he was charged with driving under the influence. He pleaded guilty and paid more than $1,300 in fines, according to court records. July 2016, Grayson was charged with another DUI. He pleaded guilty and paid more than $2,400 in fines. Court records say Grayson acknowledged his DUI charges when he applied to be an officer of Auburn Police Department in Illinois in 2021. He worked there from 2021 to May 2022. And CNN's review of Grayson's records, they did not reveal any major problems or disciplinary issues. Then why did he leave? In May 2022, Grayson started working at the Logan County Sheriff's Office in Illinois, records show. He wrote the sheriff a brief letter detailing his terrible decision to drink and drive. Let me stop right here. Does any brother listening to me think that you could have gotten a law enforcement job if you had 2 DUIs and had some type of discharge from the military? Yeah, like, if anybody thinks that could have happened for them, y'all let me know. So basically what we have is a perpetual F up who's failing upward. That's what I read. Grayson worked at 6 Illinois. How do you even have? How are they even 6 Illinois law enforcement agencies available for him to hop around since 2020? He started working part-time with the Pawnee Police in August 2020, followed by the Kincaid and Verdun Police departments. Then he started working full-time with Auburn Police, the Logan County Sheriff's Office, and finally the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office in May 2023. So basically, this person's been on this job a year, and he has assassinated someone. While Grayson did not appear to have any disciplinary issues while he was with Auburn Police, records from the Logan County office said he needed to take high-stress decision-making classes. The recommendation came after Grayson failed to slow down after his boss called off a vehicle pursuit. Grayson was driving around 110 miles an hour before striking a deer, records show. Deputy Grayson pursued the truck through Lincoln at a high rate of speed, reaching speeds of 63 in a 30 mile per hour zone, and in my opinion failed to show due caution while driving through intersections. Grayson's supervisor terminated the pursuit, and Grayson turned off his emergency lights, the report says. So he turned off his lights, but then, because this was from what I saw, this appeared to be at night, he turned off his emergency lights, but continued to drive 110 miles an hour. So basically, this fool was trying to kill himself and failed at that. Bruh. I ain't gonna lie. I'm mad at the deer. Come on, deer. You supposed to jump right through this fool's windshield. Supposed to sacrifice yourself for the people. Like this dude is a perpetual clown. It's not the word I want to use, but anyway. All right, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Okay, what's happening here? All right, this is the Air Force Times. This is about our brother, Roger Fortson, 23 years old. The fatal shooting of Roger Fortson by Florida Sheriff's deputy, when the Air Force senior airman opened his door armed with a handgun pointed down, happened almost a month ago. But the information released so far hasn't clarified why the officer was directed to his apartment. The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office has released the deputy's body cam video of the May 3rd shooting and redacted 9/11 calls and reports, but not the deputy's name. The agency also has not said if the deputy has made any statements to investigators. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating, but since the probe is ongoing, they won't comment. Mr. Fortson was black. The deputy, from what I saw, appeared to be Hispanic. Again, it doesn't matter if the police are Hispanic. Many times it doesn't matter if they're black. And we know it's trouble if they're European. Before they did. Straight black saw. So for what I saw, Mr. Fortson, actually, the police came to the wrong house. That's what happened. They were called to the apartment complex. I think it appeared to be an apartment complex. And they knocked on the wrong door. He opened the door with his firearm. And they shot him. Right, Philando Castile was assassinated by a Hispanic cop. Right. After being lawfully armed, as this brother was lawfully armed. So I can understand why the brother had his firearm, because the police oftentimes they sound like they're about to beat your door down. So I can't even blame him for that, because but they weren't even at the right house. That's what happened. They weren't at the right house. He had his firearm. His firearm was pointed down, and the police took him out. That's what happened, just like that. And I will do a separate video with the video so you all can see this case in more detail, since I wasn't able to load up the videos for this. And so I'll have separate videos for Brother Fortson and for little Terrell Miller, who's 4 years old. So this brother was 23 years old, and the police came to the wrong door, and now he's not here. Just complete, utter waste of a life. Fortson, 23, had no criminal record. There's no evidence he was involved in the disturbance that led to the deputy being called to the apartment complex. Fortson was alone in this apartment, and his girlfriend said she and Fortson were having a normal video conversation when the deputy began pounding on the door. Ben Crump, the family's attorney, has called the shooting an unjustifiable assassination, and Matt Gates, the area's staunchly Republican congressman, said Fortson did nothing wrong. Now you know it's crazy when the Republican congressman is like, yeah, no. And I'll be completely honest, if the brother was a member of law enforcement, the Republican congressman would not have backed him up like that. But because he was, he did. I'll just be honest, if just from a political point of view, if the Republicans just had any sense of decency and intelligence, they can override their systematic, insane, vitriolic hate of black people, they would, in these individual cases, put law enforcement, sacrifice a few of their own, and say law enforcement has to be held to a higher standard. Don't even have to say it's for black people. Just, in fact, they could use Trump and say, if law enforcement were properly trained in doing their job, Mr. Trump wouldn't have been nearly assassinated. And in this case, if law enforcement were doing their job, this wonderful airman would not have been assassinated by law enforcement. Right? But they ain't smart enough to do that. Look, it's our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby. Greetings, wonderful producer. Hope you're feeling well. Y'all give our wonderful producer some clap emojis. As you all know, she's dealing with health issues, so anytime she can join us, it's a good day. It's a monumental occasion. Now, let me see. He gave. Let's see. Wait a minute. Go back. Why was the deputy at Fortson's apartment? Just before 4:25 p.m., a female employee of the Elon Apartments in the Florida Panhandle community of Fort Walton Beach called the sheriff's office, saying a resident had reported a loud argument that had been going on for 20 minutes. It was said that it sounded like it was getting physical and that it happens often. She gave Fortson's fourth floor apartment as the location of the disturbance, but he was home alone. At the operator's suggestion, the employee walked near Fortson's unit and reported that she didn't hear anything. Okay, so if she reported that she didn't hear anything, and they come and they don't hear anything, and first of all, if it's a domestic situation, law enforcement has actually changed how they deal with domestic situations over the years. I remember there was a time where domestic situations, first of all, police hate to deal with them, or at least they used to. Second of all, the reason they changed the law, because oftentimes they couldn't tell who was doing what, is it got to the point where a lot of time people were just fighting. It wasn't it was abuse, but it wasn't like a one-way thing. Like, got to the point where, just being completely honest, women just started saying, "You're not gonna talk to me like that. I'm not gonna take no more. You acting a fool, and this frying pan will go upside your head," or whatever, or whatever the case may be. Right. So it got to the point that law enforcement would show up, look at both sides, and like, "Hey, all right, we gotta arrest everybody." But what they don't do is show up and say, "We gotta shoot everybody." That wasn't in the change of procedures. Anyway, the deputy arrived about 3 minutes late. How in the world? Where do they live that you get that type? I'm in one of the most police cities on earth, and there's no way you can get. Not MPD. They can't show up within 3 minutes. Anyway, of course, he showed up 3 minutes later. He went into the office where a man directed him to the parking lot. A woman met him there. On video, she sounds like the employee who told the operator she would meet the deputy. Her face has been blurred out of the video. "Are they fighting or something?" he asked. She responded that there was an apparent argument in one of the apartments and that it's getting out of hand. So right here, she doesn't know. She says one of the apartments. He asked which. She said, "I don't know, so I'm not sure." She then told the deputy that 2 weeks earlier she heard someone yelling and cursing in the apartment, followed by a noise that sounded like a slap, but she hadn't reported. The deputy then asked which apartment, and this time the woman gave Fortson's apartment. The deputy repeated the number. She confirmed the apartment on the 4th floor and gave the deputy directions. Fortson lived alone and had no visitors at the time of the shooting. That has raised questions over whether the deputy was directed to the wrong apartment. County 911 dispatch records show department deputies had never been called to his apartment before. However, deputies had been called to another 4th floor apartment 10 times in the previous 8 months, including once for a family disturbance. A 911 call made by residents apparently just after the fatal shooting referenced arguing between a man and a woman in an apartment where a child lives. Trump has said he believes police were sent to the wrong apartment. It's not clear if he's referencing the apartment where the police had been called. All right, stop right here. All right. The police, first of all, there's no reason for you to be assassinating people. That's number one. Number two, the police, it was obvious that this woman did not know the apartment. At which case, you should be calling dispatch to say, "I do not have the proper information. Can you go through and see if we have previous calls in this area?" Right? Sure, it's going to take time, but if you don't actually hear or see anything taking place, you have time to do that. In which case, they tell you, "Oh, apartment 418 or whatever has a history of domestic violence. Thank you, dispatch. I will check on 418." You check on 418, and whatever happens, happens. And Mr. Fortson continues to talk to his girlfriend on video conference and goes about his day because he's alive. His girl is happy to see him later on, and he continues to be a wonderful person in the Air Force and a wonderful example for the community. But instead, he's gunned down by this clown. Straight Black South says you got people on the police department tell them that lesbian domestic violence make up at least 50% of such calls. Oh, yeah, that's been documented nationally, not just locally. So, because of this, Mr. Fortson is not here. Let's see the rest. What happened with Mr. Fortson when the deputy arrived? The deputy arrived outside Fortson's door less than 3 minutes after he got to the complex. He listened silently for 20 seconds, but no voices inside were heard on his body camera. He then pounded on the door, but then here we go. This is why the brother had his weapons. This is it right here. Okay, you're listening. You don't hear anything. You pound on the door, but you don't identify yourself. You then move to the side of the door about 5 feet away. He waited 15 seconds before pounding on the door again. Then he yelled, "Sheriff's office." So this is what happens. I'm going to tell you what happened. He starts pounding on the door. The brother's on the phone. He's not expecting anybody. He's like, what the hell? Who is that? He goes to get his weapon. Because why? Because he's in the military. Someone's pounding on his door. He's not expecting anyone. If he knows that there's a history of stuff going on as well, as far as some domestic stuff or whatever the case may be, that's why he has his weapon. Because maybe he thinks, hey, this fool, maybe, you don't know. Maybe the woman is banging on the door because she's asking for help from her lunatic boyfriend. So in that case, you want to be able to defend yourself because y'all understand what I'm saying, right? You understand the scenario, right? Now, less than 10 seconds later, he moved back in front of the door and pounded again, announcing himself once more. Fortson opened the door, his legally purchased gun in his hand. It was at his side, pointing to the ground. The deputy said, "Step back," and then immediately start firing. Only then did he drop the gun. I'm going to just be completely honest. When they give you an order, do not make any movements. Don't even comply, because people get killed when they comply. You know? Let's move on to the next case so we can get out of here at a reasonable time. Let's see. So he was alive. He said, "Drop the gun." Fortson replied, "It's over there." Deputy called for paramedics, but Fortson died a short time later at the hospital. In hours after the shooting, the sheriff's office issued a short press release that offered few details. It said the deputy had responded to a call about a disturbance and had heard it himself, which is a lie. He reacted in self-defense, which is a lie. Everything they said after that was a lie. And that's why I say that everyone involved, if you are part of the lie or part of the cover-up, everyone should be charged with murder. That's plain and simple. Everyone should be charged with murder. Because I'm just of the belief, if you can't do your job and it results in someone losing their life, then everybody should be charged with the same thing. We either gonna get it right or we just ain't gonna have nobody to do the job one way or the other. Don't make me no difference. This man, let's move on to the next case, man. I'm so disgusted by this stuff. I can barely read. Mother of 4-year-old killed by Macomb officer dismayed at the lack of charges. Macomb or Macomb, I'm not from Illinois. Y'all help me out if I'm butchering the name of your city. The mother of Terrell Miller, age 4, is dismayed at the decision not to criminally charge the Macomb police officer that shot and assassinated her son, her 4-year-old son, Kiana Miller, the mother of Terrell Miller, age 4, is dismayed and disappointed that authorities have declined to criminally charge the Macomb police officer that shot and killed Terrell on March 16, 2024. At a press conference held on July 29th, yesterday, 2024, outside the Macon Police Department, Marlene Suarez, attorney for Kiana Miller, summarized the tragic incident when Terrell was killed. I watched the body cam video of Terrell shooting, and it's as tragic as you can imagine, Ms. Suarez said. She continued to say that Ms. Miller, her family, and her legal team do not agree with the decision to decline to issue criminal charges against the police officer that fired his gun during a hostage situation. Let me see. While responding to numerous calls to 911, police heard screams and cries for help from inside Kiana's apartment. The police kicked down the door and confronted the assailant, who had 2 knives and had already stabbed Kiana multiple times. Kiana was directed out of the apartment by police officers. At the time, the assailant entered Terrell's bedroom, grabbed him, and stepped back into the hallway where police had guns drawn. Within seconds of the assailant stepping from Terrell's room, holding Terrell as a hostage, a police officer fired 1 shot, killing Terrell, passing through him, and entering the assailant. Both died at the scene. We believe the police officer acted recklessly and not within standard guidelines for the use of deadly force. Terrell was just a little boy and he didn't have a chance. Kiana Miller has been waiting patiently for the results of the official investigation, which was conducted by the Illinois State Police. The Illinois Appellate Prosecutor's Office made the decision to decline criminal charges based on that report. I feel like Terrell did not receive justice. He died for nothing, said Kiana. Oh, boy. So, this sister was being assaulted by, I assume, her significant other, which again goes to mate selection, something I talk about a lot. This lunatic assaulted her, grabbed her child to use as a human shield, and the police just said, forget all that, and murdered everybody in there. The man is holding a 4-year-old. You can't shoot him in his knees. I'm just saying. Like, people do have knees. You get shot in your knees, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't doing nothing. You can't go nowhere. You can't move. Can't do nothing. You can't say you're trying to defend the child because you murdered the child. Like, I didn't read the article before. Brother said I'm from Chicago, nothing in Macomb but Western Illinois University, and incompetent police. How you don't charge someone that shoots a child is just beyond me. Like, the person is holding up the child as a human shield, and you shoot at the child and not. Come on, man. Come on. Like, I know they're trained to shoot center mass, blah, blah, blah. I know all that stuff. But if you can't shoot somebody in their legs, why are you a police officer? Like, seriously. Like, that is nowhere in anyone's procedure where, hey, this person has a hostage, let me shoot through the hostage. Like, no, this ain't. You've been watching too many Bad Boys movies or something. So this sister nearly lost her life, and then, but worse than that, she loses her 4-year-old child. Basically because she's dealing with some lunatic. I mean, I'm just, I'm just dumbfounded that a police officer see this person with a child in their hand and they think, hey, you know what? The way to handle this properly is to start shooting up everything. Like, I know that ain't in nobody's handbook. That's not no part of no hostage negotiation, no type of procedure, no nothing. I've been complete and total disregard for the most precious life of a child. Bruh. So anyway, as usual, we're under assault from terrorists masquerading as police. And this case is just an example of why you can't be around people who, you know, put you in a situation where your life's on the line, because if you gotta call the police, it can only get worse. And I'll do a separate video of this to cover the story more in depth as well. I'm just dumbfounded that they would shoot a 4-year-old. You see the child and you, bruh, no de-escalation skills, no critical thinking, or what they call it, stressful situation skills, or nothing. Yeah, start shooting. When in doubt, shoot. When sure, shoot even quicker. Just complete disregard for rules, protocol, common sense, human life, spiritual belief, the Bible, God, whatever. Disregard for all that. Just shoot. All right, so before I go, because that one just took all the energy out of me, because I just, oh my God, you just got to be kidding me. We're coming on again Thursday, the beginning of Black August. Y'all tell me if you don't leave it here. Shoot me an Instagram message, or I don't know, shoot me an email. Thursday is SBL Straight Black Love Talk. What topic, which straight black love related topic would y'all like me to discuss? I don't currently have anything on the menu. So if y'all got something y'all want me to discuss, just shoot me a message and I'll take that into consideration. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1 and Twitter at dc_radical_one, on OTWTube at dcradical1. You can donate via Cashapp, $ dcradical1, and you can email me at dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. If you find value in the information that's being provided and you would like to support the movement, you can do that via Cash App, which comes directly to me. Or if you have a special message that you want to say, you can do it via Super Chat or even Super Thanks. Brother, you got ripped off says, you know, he went bragging. He got a 2-for-1. That is what these barbarians do. And instead of, unifying, we're too busy dying for idiocracies. Yeah, brother. I'm gonna just, all right. I'm gonna just, before I go, if we refuse to organize and set up special community task force to deal with these situations in the manner that our ancestors had previously done to affect change, we will continue to suffer from what we're suffering from in all areas of people activity. We need organizations at all areas of people activity, including dealing with executions by terrorists masquerading as police. That's all I got to say. Is organize or die trying. Plain and simple. So, with that, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're having our annual convention in a couple of weeks. You can come join us if you're on the East Coast. It's free. On Bill with myself, Brother Genie, SBPM. Got a lot of work to do. We're going to survive the current situation. With that, I say, a BB for ODA and straight black pride.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cashapp is $DC Radical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.